they're going to allow their athletes to play in space.
Into the front court. Pass stolen by Gross. Oh. Open look. Rims in and out from Keelan. Corralled by Lexington as Spence brings it into the front court. Over to Bishop.
Surprisingly, with all of the athletes Irmo has, they're now in a zone. Looks like they're playing a soft 2-3 zone and forcing Lexington to make some jump shots. And for a team that's relatively young, this could be an issue for them. But this is a team that shot it well. We'll see how they handle this 2-3 zone.
First foul of the game. Looks like Bishop fouls Browning on the rebound. No, this is going back to Irmo. I don't know what the call was there. Pass to Gates. Deflected, and he gets it back. Three-point attempt missed by Hendricks. Brought down by Gross. 2-2 is our score here. Jordan, oh gosh, Justin Mackey with the nice drive and the dish. Count it. The Yellow Jackets take a 4-2 lead here early in the first quarter.
One thing that stands out to me so far with this Irmo basketball team is their unselfish play. A great pass in the open floor, sharing the basketball.
And a defense causes a turnover, Captain, in the press. Irmo gets it, and Browning knocks down an open jumper.
Browning is another kid that the coaching staff has really been high on. They are wondering why he hasn't garnered a lot of interest from some D1 schools. But I expect that to change here, especially after playing the way Irmo is obviously going to play and garnering the attention that they're going to garner. I think it's going to bode well for him.
And the push was underneath the foul. It goes to the sideline. Irmo gets a 4-point play, Captain, as Browning finds Gross underneath for the easy layup, and the Yellow Jackets take an 8-2 lead. Wow, they look like they're in control of this game early.
Very smart timeout by Coach Harris, and we talked about it at the top. It's going to be very important, almost imperative for Lexington to do a better job of controlling tempo. Irmo wants to run. Irmo wants to play fast. Irmo wants to play in space. Lexington doesn't have the athletes to allow for that to happen. So for them, it's absolutely imperative that they slow the game down, control tempo, and value possessions offensively and defensively, and not allow these horses of Irmo to get into open space.
Yeah, we've seen some high school basketball already this year, Captain, and one thing I've noticed is that defense seems to rule a lot of turnovers, and really important to take care of the ball. Lexington able to beat the press. Bishop on the drive, and he turns it over. Gross with the pick. Browning brings it into the front court. Hits Justin Mackey. It's easy to say that. Justin Mackey in the corner. Misses the three. Brought down by Gates. Lexington trails by 6 here early. And Maverick Bishop, Captain, 4-3 as the Cats pull to within 3 in this one. 8-5 Irmo.
Bishop is actually the second leading scorer for this team, averaging 13 points a game. He's someone that Coach Bailey Harris has been really high on, and he's excited with the way he's playing so far.
Justin Mackey with a nice move underneath. Gets the bucket. Captain, that's 4 early points for the Gamecock signee.
Well, I like the fact that he's been aggressive. And, even though he's not vocally leading this team the way Coach Whipple likes, at least he is trying to lead by example. But certainly this is going to be something that's going to be microscopic in terms of this coaching staff led by Coach Whipple. How well does he lead this basketball team? And certainly that will prove to be big dividends as this team move forward and hopefully deep into the playoffs.
That was a nice interior pass there from from Gates to Blake. The Wildcats pulled it within 3. 10-7, Irmo back on the ball, and they turn it over. Captain Blake with the steal.
And the one thing we should expect from Lexington, certainly Irmo's full of athletes, but Lexington is going to execute. They're going to stay true to who they are, and they're not going to try to become somebody that they're not. They're going to execute, and they're going to make this a game.
2 quick threes on each side of the court. One-and-done trips for the Wildcats and the Yellow Jackets. They're not afraid to shoot the ball early in the offense these days, are they?
Well, I mean, that's the way teams, whether it's high school or college, teams want to play fast.
A turnover, and Browning finishes it for Irmo, 12-7 with 3:33 here left in the first quarter.
That seems to be the makeup of every team, Eric.
Dangerous pass.
Yeah, bad passing. This is what Irmo wants to do. They want to get after you. They want to pressure you. They want to make it uncomfortable for you. And you see what happens when Lexington becomes uncomfortable. It turns into easy scoring opportunities for Irmo, either at the basket or now we're seeing Justin Mackey at the charity stripe. But
right.
I can't speak enough about the unselfish play, the unselfishness that we've seen this Irmo basketball team play with thus far.
Nigel Gates lobs the ball over the top. Easy steal for Kean, gets it to Justin, who is fouled. Goes to the free throw line. He misses the first of two, Captain. We'll get a chance to take a look at some plays if this game ever slows down.
Yeah.
We've got an opportunity to take some to show you some replays of early baskets or recent baskets, but they're playing upbeat here with the second one. It's good, 13-7, his 5th point here in the early going for Justin Mackey. Irmo with the full court press, almost a steal and another turnover. That will go to Irmo off of the foot of Blake. He was able to get to it, Captain, but couldn't hold on to it. Irmo with another turnover. Boy, you can win some games with a solid defense like that. Especially
when that solid defense turns into easy scoring opportunities like we're seeing right now from Irmo.
Justin Mackey on the drive. No good, brought down by Nigel Gates. The outlet pass. Pull-up jumper is no good. Kean with the rebound. They come in the other way. 2-on-2 break. He pulls up from the elbow. No good. Gets his own rebound. Pulls up again. No good. Third time's a charm. First points for Favor here in the early going. 15-7 Yellow Jackets. Nigel Gates into the front court. And I was going to say earlier they were doing a better job of beating that press, Captain, with the pass, but two consecutive turnovers have let the Yellow Jackets stretch this lead a little bit.
Yeah, tempo will continue to be the key word for me. You just can't get into a track meet with this Irmo basketball team. This is how they want to play, and I think what a big three-pointer just now from
Mike Morris.
And it is so important for these guys to slow the game down and get the shot that they want. They can ill afford to get into a track meet with these athletes from Irmo. This is how they want to play. This is when they're at their best, playing fast, playing out in space, getting easy scoring opportunities. Look for, at some point, because of everything that comes with the big rivalry, look for, at some point, this Lexington ball club to just maybe slow it down just a little bit and play at a tempo that's more suitable to the personnel that's in place.
Kyle Ferguson to the free throw line after he gets the ball on the, well, you're seeing the earlier play, Captain, once, twice, 3 times. That's Justin Mackey, the Gamecock signee on the
constant ball movement, spacing. That's what you think about when you see this basketball team play. They're getting a lot of opportunities at the basket because of the way the floor is spaced.
Back to live action. Justin Mackey at the elbow. One dribble, drives, puts it up, no good. Fight for the loose ball. Lexington comes up with a nice bounce pass. And it is good. Mike Morris with his 4th and 5th points of the early going. 16-12 Yellow Jackets.
Lexington being very opportunistic when it comes to their fast break opportunities. And Justin Mackey appears to be rushing just a little bit. Certainly you have South Carolina's assistant coach, Brad Underwood, in the house, taking a look at Justin. Of course, his father, B.J. Mackey, is here. I think he's pressing just a little bit now, and that's making him rush. Let's see how soon he's able to just slow it down and play at his pace, play at his speed, and that's better for him.
Tell Justin to ignore the cameras.
Yes. Just ignore the cameras and play basketball.
The game hasn't changed, has it? Damon Davis with an earlier miss on this side. Irmo gets the rebound. Back onto the offensive side of the ball. Couple looks there, Captain, and Lexington, after an interesting first quarter here, under a minute to go, trails by 4. They can cut it to 2 or even 1 on this possession. Damon Davis. Picked off by Justin Mackey. He goes the other way. Slow it down. It's going to be a jump ball. Did he press there a little too much?
Yeah, I think it goes back to what I was saying before. I think right now he's feeling just a little bit of pressure. And now you see him coming out of the game. And I can almost promise you that Coach Whipple is going to remind him just of what we said a few moments ago about just slowing down and allowing the game to come to you as opposed to trying to bring the game to you. And you have Coach Underwood, the associate head basketball coach of South Carolina. He's in the house. B.J. Mackey is in the house. So if there's not enough pressure already just by being the son of B.J. Mackey, think about the pressure now of having to do it, being a South Carolina signing, knowing that everybody in the arena is looking at you to see whether you're worthy of playing at the University of South Carolina. Fair or unfair, that comes with the territory whenever you make the decision to not only follow your father's footsteps, but also sign a letter of intent to play at a high-level institution.
Lexington going to hold for the last shot here, or try to. Davis. Now Nigel Gates, who's been kind of quiet here in the first quarter, Captain, with the air ball. And that'll end the quarter 16-12. Let me take a look at a couple of highlights here, if we have any. What are your thoughts on the first quarter?
Well, I tell you, we saw there you see Lexington getting some easy opportunities. We talked about Irmo, and Irmo's just doing a terrific job of sharing the ball. I talked about their acceptance that we just saw a play getting Justin getting a piece of the paint, breaking down the defense, and getting an easy scoring opportunity.
Another nice look, huh? That's unselfish play. Get drive, draw, dish.
They're doing a terrific job of scoring while the defense is in disarray. Nice pull-up jump shot in transition. That's a shot that every coach wants to see his point guard make.
A lot of highlights on the Irmo side. They might think that this game is one-sided. Irmo did have a 15-7 lead, but Lexington chipped away there late in the first quarter. Captain 16-12. Nice look underneath. And the layup.
As many highlights as we saw from Irmo the first quarter, it's only a two-possession game. Lexington is right there, and they found a way to kind of bridge that gap and chip away at it, and it's a two-possession game as we start the second quarter.
Yeah, I like that last look at Phillip Blake with the finish. A nice extra pass, as we like to call it in soccer, and I know you have it in basketball too. Make that extra pass. Bishop from the corner, no good. Brought down by Gross from Irmo. Over to Mackey. Across to Keehan. He pulls it back out a little, setting up the offense.
Looks like Lexington is in a 1-2-2 matchup zone where they're matching up with the perimeter guys and just trying to get loose balls, trying to be active in that zone with their hands, high hands. But you can't give up an easy opportunity like that. Against the zone, it is so important for perimeter guys to get into those gaps and get a piece of the paint, break down the defense. That's what we just saw just now.
Keehan gets to the just inside the free throw line, knocks down about a 12-footer, 18-12 Yellow Jackets. Irmo at 2-3 zone here. Bishop's not afraid to shoot, and that is why, Captain, he drops his second three-pointer of the game, 18-15.
Talking to Coach Bailey Harris before the game, he was one of the kids that he highlighted, averaging 13 points a game, and now you can see why Coach Bailey Harris is so high on this kid, Bishop.
Keehan with the miss. Howard with the rebound. And that was Keehan with another miss, and Lexington corrals it back up the floor. Davis, almost had his lunch pick there, Captain.
Yeah, looks like he got a gift just now because he went into danger territory, didn't really have anywhere to go, went in amongst three Irmo defenders, Michael Bishop, that is, and Michael Morris, excuse me.
Yeah, Mike Morris.
Mike Morris, and didn't have anywhere to go. Got bailed out, got lucky just now. He might have was given a gift, E-Rock.
Substitution now for the Wildcats. Looks like Bryson Stokes takes a seat. Nelson Spence onto the floor. Morris over to Gates. And tried to make that difficult pass, Captain, to Morris. Sometimes those high-risk passes end up in a lost possession.
The one thing I would like to see from both teams against the zones that they're both facing is some more dribble penetration, getting into the teeth of the defense, driving and drawing that defense and making it break down so that you're able to get some wide open shots. I think they're trying to pass it a little bit too much. They need to get some dribble penetration, break the defense down, get into the teeth of the defense, and get some easy scoring opportunities.
Justin Mackey, foul going to the hoop. I believe they're calling this on the floor. This will be taken in from underneath their own basket, Captain. Another turnover from Lexington on another possession. Browning at the top of the key. Over to Mackey, back to Browning.
Something else to look for.
Alley-oop play. Gets his own rebound, Captain. He's not able to put it back. That was to Mackey. Could have been a highlight moment there, but all for naught. Gates to Spence. No good.
Spence missed the shot, but what a great pass by Nigel Gates. I talked about his IQ. I talked about his feel for the game. What a great job of getting in, passing.
Mackey with the pass to Gross. Blocked, Captain. And Irmo continues to battle here.
I like the fact that the officials are letting them play a little bit. I think the officials understand the dynamics that come along with this big-time rivalry. And the officials have done a terrific job of staying out of the way and letting these guys play basketball and letting them have some contact. This is what fans want to see. And, you know, quite frankly, Eric, this is what I want to see. I want to see basketball. I don't want to see the officials blow their whistles all night long.
Stokes back in for Morris, Captain. He passes it over to Bishop, who isn't afraid to take a shot. That doesn't find anything. Spence knocks it out of bounds. Irmo possession. 3-point game here. Browning brings it up the court. Lexington hasn't pressed too much. They're not a team that looks to press, I guess.
They're now in a half-court press, 1-2-2. And what they're trying to do is make a determination of what side of the floor the ball stays on once it gets there. They want to keep it there. And they've done a terrific job against Irmo the last 3 or 4 possessions. Irmo hasn't really gotten anything, and I think this may be the recipe for Lexington as we move forward.
Wade plays it off the back. Was that off the back of Spencer?
Yes, I think that was some trickery there. He gets a 10.
He played it off his back. He gets the layup, Captain. 20-15. Yellow Jackets, they go back into their press.
It's now in a 1-3-1.
Oh.
They're in a 1-3-1 half court. Lexington went to their 1-2-2 half court. Irmo is now running a 1-3-1 half court, and they're making it very difficult for Lexington to change sides of the floor with that basketball.
Yeah, Browning got his hand on that. I didn't even see where he came from, Captain. Difficult pass there from Davis to Bishop, but he holds on to it. Davis, bounce pass, nice pass to Blake. Was that blocked?
No, he just missed it, but it is what we talked about before, dribble penetration as opposed to just trying to pass it around the zone. As the defense, this is what you want. You want the offense to pass it around and not apply pressure with the dribble, not apply pressure off the bounce. Just now we saw Lexington get into the lane off dribble penetration. We need to see more of that from both teams with the amount of zone that's been played.
And Grant Hendricks just checked in, captain for Maverick Bishop. Hendricks is a 6'2 senior. Oh, I'm sorry, that is Bishop on the floor, so I must have seen the wrong guy go off. Bishop misses another 3. He's made a couple, but he's missed quite a few as well. Justin Mackey back over to Javante Gross. Captain, he finishes it. Is that going the other way?
I think that is going the other way.
No
Looks
basket.
like he had position. He stood in there and took the contact. And anytime you see a kid that's willing to take a charge, willing to take that contact, coaches absolutely love to see those type of plays. Those are the plays that are not going to go in the stat book, but certainly those are the plays that coaches love to talk about, love to highlight during film sessions.
Javante Gross with the player control foul. Gives the ball back to Lexington. And now Bishop sits down. Now Mike Morris just checked in for Maverick Bishop, captain. Davis comes up short on that. Browning with the rebound goes the other way quickly. Now Irmo will set up the offense. Cross-court pass to Justin Mackey for the open look. Back iron, no good. Lexington ball. Spence rebounds. It gets it to Davis as he brings it across the timeline.
Haven't had much scoring in the second quarter, Rock. I think
good point.
Both teams did a really good job of switching defenses, and I think it's barred each of those teams because we haven't seen a lot of offensive production. We've seen a lot of quick shots, a lot of jump shots, but a lot of those shots, unfortunately, have not gone in.
You know, Captain, when I played a long, long time ago at a much smaller level than you, our coaches always told us that if you get a shot early, you're probably going to get it later in the possession. So you might want to, unless it's an obvious look around the bucket, those outside shots are going to be there later. Why not pass it around and see if you can get a better look?
It's called patience.
Justin Mackey misses going to the bucket, but his teammate picks him up. Captain, follow-up rebound. Irmo now takes a 22-15 lead, up 7 here with about 2.5 minutes to go in the second frame. Steal from Justin Mackey, pulls it back out. On the dribble drive, Browning pulls up. He's got a mid-range jumper. You don't see that as much these days.
It's called a lost art. Yeah, you know, you don't see a lot of mid-range jump shooting these days simply because, you know, a lot of people have forgotten how to play from three-point line to the lane area.
Well, let's take a look at that again, Captain. See if you remember what this looks like. Could you do this back in your day?
Let me think. I think I was able to make that mid-range jump shot. Today, that three-point line serves as a barbed wire fence with Rottweilers on the other side of it. Players don't like playing on the other side of that three-point line like Browning just did. What a great move off the bounce, and more importantly, what a great move by getting to your spot on balance, getting up off the floor without charging, under control. That's a tough shot to make, and that's why you don't see a lot of kids having that type of success because it takes a lot of time to master that shot. I would like to see more kids shoot that mid-range jump shot as opposed to stand behind the three-point line or getting all the way to the rack for a dunk.
Here's Justin Mackey's replay going to the bucket. He missed it, but follow-up put back by Amir Ely. Hey, Captain, is that a teaching moment for a coach like Tim Whipple to say, hey, look at that. How about that? Those 2 points are much better than a missed 3.
Absolutely. You know, the team that normally wins, Eric, is the team who has the most easy opportunities at the basket. You know, a team that's going to share the basketball, a team that's going to try to get easy opportunities at the basket as opposed to depending and relying on long three-point shots early in their offense. 9 times out of 10 are not going to have that much success. And we expect that from both of these teams, 2 well-coached teams, Bailey Harris and Tim Whipple, 2 coaches that have had a lot of success and 2 coaches that absolutely know what they're doing.
Hayward Goodson checks in at point, Captain, gives Browning a breather. He's played most of the first half. Of course, he's the guy who just hit the mid-range jumper. Reward him with a little rest. Gates with the pull-up. No good. Brought down.
I'd like to see Gates play a lot more aggressively. I think he's been the facilitator. He's done a terrific job facilitating offense, but he's a guy that's going to have to get some points if Lexington wants a chance to win.
Yeah, it's almost forgot that he's playing today. A little too unselfish. And Ryan Favor with the short one-arm jumper, Captain. Halfway down, doesn't stay down. Lexington gets the ball. Irmo leads by 9 here with about just over a minute remaining. Another turnover from the Wildcats. Justin Mackey, unfortunate. There's Goodson who just checked in. Hits another mid-range jumper. 26-15 Yellow Jackets.
Off of an offensive rebound. And whenever you're attempting a basket off of offensive rebound, your shooting percentage goes up because the defense is in disarray.
Nelson Spence with the
a rare fast break opportunity for Lexington.
Yeah. Yeah, get the layup, that helps. But Irmo drops a 3 from the corner. I believe that's Ryan Favor.
Ryan Favor, 6'5" senior.
And Captain, boy, that's a dagger there. Take 11-point lead here at halftime. You want to, for some reason, that double-digit margin gets in the heads right a little bit, and you want to get it under 10 here before halftime. Especially
when you're a young team like the Lexington Wildcats. They are a young team, and that's why you see so much substituting for Coach Harris. He's trying to find that right combination, and he's also trying to put together a team that could some kind of way cut into that deficit with 32 seconds before the half.
30 seconds to go, Captain, half a minute. Looks like Coach Whipple's asking them to go for hold it for one, but Goodson says, I'll just go ahead and take this open three. Brought down by Brian Stokes. Lexington with the ball, 15 seconds remaining. You would imagine, unless they get a really good look, they'll hold it for the last final shot of the first half. Gates over to Bishop. Bishop back to Gates. Dribble, drive, lays it up. No good. Fight for the board. Spence at the buzzer, and it's good.
All because of the dribble penetration. A shot at the basket by Nigel Gates. I talked about it before. You can't have any success against any type of zone if you're going to stand out along the perimeter and continue to pass it around. You got to get into the teeth of the defense. You got to get into those gaps with dribble penetration, because what it does is it draws the defense, and when it draws the defense, it opens it up for two things: passing lanes and offensive rebounds, like we just saw a few moments ago. That's how Lexington ended the half, off of an offensive rebound because of a shot generated by dribble penetration.
Huge bucket for Lexington. We'll take a look at it again here, Captain. We talked about that magic number to keep it under 10. There's the dribble drive. They battle around for it. Gets it up quickly. Nelson Spence. You kind of reiterating what you said. Those guys battled for it, and they get it under 10. 28-19 here at the half.
Yeah, and it goes back to Nigel Gates playing aggressively. It's something I wanted to see. I wanted to see Nigel Gates play aggressively, and he did it. And also, the toughest thing for any team that's playing zone is the defensive rebound out of it, because when you're playing man-to-man, it's so easy just to turn and box that guy out. But It takes a discipline when you're playing zone to rebound, because now you have to turn, look, go and find him, and then box him out, and then go for the basketball. So you compromise yourself just a little bit. You compromise yourself just a little bit whenever you're playing a zone defensively.
And if one person doesn't do their job in a zone, then it makes everybody look like they didn't do their job, right?
The biggest misconception when it comes to a zone is a lot of players see playing a zone as a time to rest. And you're not resting. Coaches have done a really good thing of being creative now when it comes to doing certain things, doing different things out of the zone. And that's what we're seeing now with both of these group of teams. And both of these teams have found a way to, kind of take advantage of some weaknesses in that zone.
Yeah, here's an opportunity for a shameless plug, Captain. You and I do a show every day from 10 to 1 here in Columbia and across the across the state. 80+% of the state, 560 the team. 560 a.m., 10 to 1. If you're not listening, we're really disappointed in you. And you can also follow us on the Twitter. He's the Captain 560. I'm Eric G 560. So we've got other ways to put up with us. But right now, let's take a look at some of the highlights from the first half, Captain. There's some of the Irmo students hanging out. Easy bucket you mentioned earlier. That's from Nelson Spence. A layup there from Justin Mackey. And Justin Mackey with a nice look there as well.
Yeah, and we're talking about Justin not scoring the ball, but he's done a terrific job of passing the ball all night long. I talk about their selfish nature. They're playing very unselfishly tonight as a team, and that'll take them a long way.
There's a pass from Nelson Spence to Philip Blake, and I think it was Philip Blake who hit the final shot of the first half. I've been saying Spence, but I believe it was number 33.
It was Philip Blake, yes.
There's a
6'4" junior.
Pull-up jumper from Browning that we've spoke of earlier. Nice look from him underneath there.
I really like the way Browning is playing. Not only is he scoring, but he's doing a really good job of surveying the floor and getting his teammates easy opportunities. And speaking with the coaching staff before the game, they emphasized the importance of Browning. They emphasized how much he was going to help this basketball team, and I haven't been disappointed.
It's a couple of three-pointers from Lexington. The lefty, I got a soft spot for those southpaws. Maverick with one. There's another one from Morris. Nice move there from Morris as well. A little athleticism on that.
Well, yeah, there's a myth that's associated with lefties. I've been told that they're very high IQ, cerebral basketball players. Is that a myth?
Well, we are.
Oh, okay.
But we're just cerebral. Everything we do is cerebral, and we're also very funny.
Another great pull-up, mid-range jump shot by Browning.
Another three. There's the second three of Maverick Bishop in the first half. Good looking stroke there from the young man. Go to the Lexington side. And another easy bucket from Javante Gross,
actually
another guy who's played well in the first half.
That was the trick play we talked about underneath out of bounds.
Oh, off the back.
Yes.
We should. Can we back that up and see that again? Can we back it up a couple and see the off the back? Yes. No matter how many times people do it, it's still get away with it.
Never gets old. It is ever so important never to turn your back to the baseline when you're underneath out of bounds.
Do I have to give Nelson Spence an assist on that?
Yes.
There's the late substitute Goodson who spelled Browning and dropped down another one. Take a look at a couple more highlights, and then we'll just there's the Ryan Favor late
yes.
in the half. That was the big one, Captain. That's the last bucket Irmo hit there,
yes.
I believe.
Yes.
And then we'll probably get a look here at the all right, let's take a look. There's the last bucket. You were right. It was Philip Blake. We're going to take a quick break here. We'll leave you with the sights and sounds of the Lexington High School basketball gym. We'll be back with the second half momentarily.
correct some things at halftime, and I do expect to see a better ball game in terms of some of the decisions we saw in the first half, which is going to be the result of halftime adjustments.
Mackey missed an open three. Was rebounded by Bishop, and Lexington also taking their possession. So, well, it's like to script, Captain, like you know what you're talking about. Good look there from Blake, brought down by Irmo. Mackey into the front court, turns it over. Maverick Bishop with the steal.
Like the fact that he got back just now. It was a turnover, trying to be aggressive. Just spoke to his father, BJ, at halftime, and the one thing he said was he's not making any shot. And I said, well, you know, he's pressing. And he agreed. He said, you know what, I probably should not have come because, yes, indeed, he is pressing with myself and Brad Underwood in attendance. Great shot by Nigel Gates. I want to see a more aggressive Nigel Gates in the second half.
Justin Mackey with the short jumper, off the mark, rebounded by Javante Gross as he puts it back in. 30-21 here, about 6.5 to go, Captain, in the third quarter. Gross over to Bishop, across the timeline. Lexington looks to set up their offense. Back to Gross. Got it in the middle to Gates. Looks the inside-outside game. Captain, get your three-point shooter a look. He drops it, and Lexington cuts it to 6 with Bishop his third three-pointer of the game, and now a steal from Gates.
Great pass by Gates. I talked about his feel. I talked about his understanding. He has a really, really good eye for the game of basketball, and I think he must have heard me, or he's gotten the memo finally, because we see a much more active Nigel Gates.
He's become more relevant in this half. Interesting that you get an open look, Captain, when the ball goes inside and comes back out, huh?
Absolutely. That's what happens when you get into the teeth of the defense. That's what happens when you get into one of those gaps, because it collapses the defense, and the defense has to make a choice. Either you're going to allow him to play basketball or you're going to give up some other things, and that's exactly what happened.
There's a jump bar. Is that a walk? We're going to call a foul, Captain. That foul is going to be on Lexington. Calling it on 1-4. Am I reading? Did I see that correctly? It can't be. So, I tell you what. Why don't we welcome in somebody who knows a little bit about? Okay. I'll tell you what. Yeah, we got a special guest for you between quarters. You won't want to miss it. Someone else who might know a little bit about the game of basketball. A little bit of interest in this one. Pull-up jumper. You know, notice that Irmo's captain's taking a lot of outside looks without the ball coming from the inside, and they're contested shots.
Yeah, and you see it's now a two-possession game, 30-24. And we'll see. And Coach Whipple recognizes that. He realizes that, E-Rock, I think he heard you, because he wants to correct that. He wants to call a timeout. He wants to remind those guys that, hey, we can get better shots. We can get that same shot after 4 or 5 passes. And if you're not going to let that ball touch the baseline and not allow that ball to get to the middle, then what you're doing is hurting us. It becomes counterproductive for our offense. It becomes counterproductive for our movement. And now we become a very stagnant offense. And a stagnant offense is not a very good offense to watch.
He's been around this game a long, long time. Let's take a look at some highlights from the third quarter. There was an early bucket from Gates, what you were talking about, him playing a little more aggressive.
And not only that, he's done a terrific job of serving as the facilitator. He's the point forward. He's the guy that's making this Lexington offense go. And like I said at the top, if Lexington has any chance of being successful against this Irmo basketball team, he has to be the catalyst. Everything has to go through him, because he'll make the right play.
There's the look from the inside out, Captain. He got a good look there. No good. 2 rebounds, 2 missed shots, 2 putback, 3, 4.
Talking about almost 5 offensive rebounds. So let's go back to what I said earlier. The toughest thing to do when you're playing a zone is rebound out of a zone, because your man is not standing next to you. There's a discipline, there's a concerted effort that goes along with that, because you got to turn, you got to look, and you have to go put your behind on that guy and box him out. That did not happen. Too many easy opportunities at the basket. And when that happens, you normally pay.
First free throw is good for Mackey. The one thing you can't control, right, is the ball going through the hoops. But the effort on the boards, you can sure control. And you guess who I got that from?
I think you got it from Frank Martin, listening to him after one of his games, in one of his post-game press conferences. And you're right. Some things you can't control when it comes to that ball going through the basket. But the one thing that should never, ever be compromised is effort.
Full court press and the turnover to the corner. Quick shot there. Oh, and Ryan Favor knocks it down. Is that a 2 or a 3?
Looks like a 2.
Yeah, like it was just inside the arc. Nice move from Blake. No good, but he stays with it, Captain, and he puts it back up. 34-26 Yellow Jackets. Yeah, I've also learned that if you talk less and listen more, you actually learn something.
When did you get that memo?
About a week ago, Captain. Unfortunately, Justin Mackey on the drive is fouled. It looks like that foul is going to be on Maverick Bishop. He sits down. Grant Hendricks checks him for him. And Bryson Stokes also checks in, I believe, for Damon Davis. Browning in the backcourt back up. Justin Mackey with a nice look underneath to Gross. Here's a look at, I'll tell you what, we'll hold off on that. We'll come back and take a look at the nice look from Justin Mackey to Jordan Gross underneath. Three-point shot, no good. And Captain, once again, that pass did not come from the inside, and you notice that they're having a harder time hitting those shots when the ball stays on the perimeter. Mackey with another nice look, Captain.
I really like his playmaking abilities.
He's smart, isn't he?
He's smart. He knows how to make the right play. No, he hasn't made the jump shot tonight. I think he's rushed a few shots. Matter of fact, of course, like I said earlier, I think he's pressing a little bit because the associate head basketball coach at the University of South Carolina is here in Brad Underwood, because his father, the great B.J. Mack, is in the house. I think he's pressing a little bit, but the one thing he has not disappointed us with is his ability to pass the basketball. What a tremendous passer. He has really, really good vision when it comes to making the right play, and it goes back to that basketball IQ.
Oh, nice look underneath to Mike Moore as captain. Couldn't quite get it to go, but he'll go to the free throw line for 2. I tell you what, there's nothing more enjoyable for me. Maybe it's just me, but to see teammates sharing the basketball.
Yes. There's a selfishness. There's an unselfishness that go along with that. But certainly, that's a credit to the coaches that we're now watching, Tim Whipple and Bailey Harris, 2 of the most successful coaches in all of South Carolina basketball history. And that's why you see the way their teams play. Their teams are representative of who they are. They serve as a great representation of how they coach the game of basketball.
Morris knocks down the 2 free throws, 34-28. And I can tell you this, it's a team game, Captain. I want to watch 5 guys play by themselves. I want to see 5 guys play as one. Irmo slows it down.
Let's watch the middle of this defense. It looks like Lexington is playing a sagging man or a matchup zone. Yeah, matchup zone. Watch the middle. Watch the middle of this defense.
And he attacks it, Captain. There's Justin Mackey with the left-hand floater, and it's good. A lead back to 8 for the Jackets.
Opened the middle. Lexington exposed themselves and got in the lane and made a terrific play with the left hand.
That's a walk. He traveled. But interesting press there, Captain. What was that, 1-3-1? And they kind of forced the ball into the middle and jumped all over the ball handler.
It was actually a 1-2-2 where the wings matched up with the perimeter guys, and Justin recognized that. And it goes back to something I said earlier, dribble penetration, get into the teeth of the defense. Justin saw that, he recognized that, and he found a way to finish the play with a great left-hand move.
Another turnover here. Grant Hendricks with the turnover, and he fouls the shooter. Was that Xavier Hill? Let's go into the line, or that's Browning. Captain, there's just too many turnovers from the Lexington Wildcats today. Bailey Harris has got to be pulling his hair out.
Well, Irmo has sped these guys up. They found a way to disrupt Lexington in terms of what they're doing, and we are dealing with some young guys from Lexington, and they probably haven't faced this type of pressure just yet. And You add to the fact that Irmo is doing a terrific job of subbing guys in and out, and the guys that have been subbed in and out are athletes. They're rangy, long, athletic guys, and they're doing a terrific job of getting in passing lanes and disrupting what Lexington is trying to do. And you can tell right now Lexington is a very uncomfortable basketball team that's playing fast.
Really enjoyed being a part of this. I want to remind you guys, AugustaBasketball.com is where you can get this, and we want to thank these guys for letting us bring you this each and every week. First free throw was good. The second is good. 10-point lead now for the Jackets. It is a low-scoring game, though, Captain, from what I've seen over the last few years in high school basketball. These kids like to score. They don't want to play defense, but Irmo seems to be taking some pride in their full-court press. Timeout on the floor. As was that yeah, let's take a look at some of the highlights. Nelson Spence calls timeout after getting trapped in the corner.
Nigel Gates getting it in the middle, getting it to the teeth of the defense, and making a really smart basketball play.
There's Blake with the miss, but he sticks with it, Captain. You got to like that.
He's done a terrific job on the offensive glass tonight.
There's a steal, gets away from Blake, and there's Ryan Favor with the long three. The long two.
Let's give Irmo credit for converting these easy opportunities that they're getting via the steal, via turnovers. They're doing a terrific job of converting in these easy opportunities.
Spence gets it to Bishop. Pulls it down.
Got to get somebody to the middle. Get to the middle, look down the floor.
Nice. I love the pump fake, Captain, and there's Nelson Spence with the finish, cutting this lead to 8. And nearly a pick there. Get it to the middle. And there's Ely with another bucket underneath. Back to 10. 40-30. Yellow Jackets, 2 to go here in the third quarter.
Irmo's back in his 1-3-1. You got to attack it with a 2-1-2 and get it to the baseline and get it to the middle.
You like
got it to the baseline, got a wide open shot. You have to attack that 1-3-1 with a 2-guard front. It has to get to the baseline, has to get to the middle. Once that happens, you get good shots guaranteed.
Glad to see the pump fakes. Ely with the blocking. I think that was Bates, Captain, that rejected the second opportunity there from Ely. The Wildcats with an opportunity to cut it to 4, maybe even 5. And Davis with the bad turnover, Captain. And well, your team really needed a good look at the basket there. You had an opportunity to get it down to 6, maybe 5, and your point guard turns it over the top of the key.
Especially when you're a team like Lexington. You're not that talented. You're still young, so value and possessions come at a premium for you. You got to take care of that basketball. You got to make sure you get at least an opportunity at the basket. And when you turn the ball away, turn the ball over, and those turnovers.
Here it is. I'm sorry. That's the first one. There's the one you were talking about, attacking the middle, Captain.
Right. Seems like Irmo's making a concerted effort to get the ball on that block in the middle of that defense. And the shots that we're now seeing Irmo take, we're seeing them take a lot more shots that are closer to the basket as opposed to the jump shots that we saw earlier.
Ely misses both. And then Lexington can't hold on to the ball. Captain out of bounds on them over the baseline. Irmo maintains possession to the top of the key to Browning. He pulls it back out, sets up something, and they're back into an offensive set.
Several scouts in the stands tonight, Iraq. Wofford, Presbyterian, and I think it's safe to say that by the time this game ends, Browning is probably going to generate a lot of interest from the teams from schools like PC, from schools like Wofford.
Maverick Bishop with the pick there, Captain. Justin Mackey with a bad turnover. He takes a seat here. I'd get a little breather probably for the last minute of the third period. He'll be back in the fourth quarter.
He turned it over, but I don't think that was the issue Whipple had with him. I think Coach Whipple was a little disappointed with the chatter after the turnover as opposed to getting ready for the next play. He had some chatter he had in exchange with one of the Lexington players, and Whipple didn't like that. So that's why we're now seeing Justin Mackey on the bench getting an earful from the coaching staff.
Yeah, I believe that was Bishop he got tangled up with and had something to say to. Bishop took exception to it. Mackey sits down, and coach takes exception with him, and that's not one bench you want to go back to, Captain, when your coach is not angry.
Well, that's why he's considered one of the absolute best in the state, Coach Whipple. He's not going to give a player preferential treatment. He's had several players come through his program that were good enough to play high-level basketball, so he's not going to change the way he coaches now. He's going to hold Justin Mackey's feet to the fire, just like he's held all of the other great ones that have come through that program.
And Justin should hope he does, because you know who'll benefit the most from that is Justin himself.
Absolutely, and with who he's going to play for next year in terms of Frank Martin, he's going to need – oh, what a great move. He's going to need all of that experience. But Nigel Gates, I want to see a more aggressive Nigel Gates.
There, you just saw
he
it.
has everything to offer when you look at a high school basketball player, and Lexington needs him to be that guy. I want to see an aggressive Nigel Gates. He has a terrific feel for the game.
He gets a miss. He gets a rebound on the miss. They pull it out, Captain. They have a chance to cut it to, 4 and 3 here. They're only trailed by 6.
2-possession game now. Nigel Gates with 10 seconds. I like this, and I think he makes the right decision with the way he plays. Great pass.
Nice pass. Oh, got to hold on. But he gets it. They get a look. No good. 6-point game here as we go to the 4th quarter.
I thought Nigel Gates made the right play.
Let's take a look at Nigel Gates.
Just a little bit more selfish.
Yeah, I want to see that. Well, there's a rebound and the putback by Stokes. But let's take a look at this Nigel Gates move right here that you.
Great footwork.
What else can you say, Captain? How did he keep control of his body?
Well, he's a guy who understands how to play. I talked about him at the top of the show. And he's been really, really unselfish, almost unselfish to a fault. He's been a tremendous facilitator for this basketball team. But for Lexington to have any chance, Nigel Gates needs to be a very aggressive basketball player, because he understands how to play the game of basketball.
Yeah, you saw there in super slow-mo, Captain, and it's impressive. It's impressive to recognize the athleticism of these young men to be able to control his body and get that ball up off the glass.
Going into the 4th quarter, the last 8 minutes, 2-possession game, it is so important. It is imperative that both teams right now, as we go into the 4th quarter, value each and every possession offensively and defensively. You can't have any unforced turnovers. You can't have any careless turnovers. And you got to get good shots every time down. Let's pay attention and see what happens with both of these teams as we go down the stretch.
Irmo in possession. Browning comes up short on that one. Loose ball on the floor, battle for it. We're going to have a jump ball here, Captain. That will go to Lexington.
Yeah, Lexington has not done a good job of rebounding the basketball out of their zone. They've given up way too many offensive rebounds to Irmo, and a team as big and as athletic as Irmo, you cannot give them that many chances, that many opportunities at the basket via offensive rebound.
Nigel Gates brings it across the timeline, gets it down to Davis. Over to Morris. Back to Gates. Across the Maverick Bishop. He'll shoot it. And Gates knocks it over the top of the backboard. That will be Irmo basketball. But you like that look?
Missed shot, but you couldn't have gotten a better shot. All because Nigel Gates did a terrific job of getting inside of the paint, getting into the teeth of that defense. He's a guy who understands how to play.
He's starting to take over here in the second half.
But he needs to be more aggressive for this Lexington basketball team going down the stretch.
7 minutes to go here, just over 7 minutes. Justin Mackey on the drive. He'll draw the foul. It's a blocking foul on Morris. I believe they'll call that on the floor, Captain. So Irmo's ball side out.
Neither team is in 1-1 yet. One more foul for Lexington, and I think Irmo will be in 1-1.
Good look from Justin Mackey. That obviously had to be a call from the bench, Captain. Javante Grossi, inbounder, gets it to Mackey, gets it right back, lays it in to give the Yellow Jackets an 8-point lead, 42-34.
I've always shared an appreciation and an admiration for Coach Whipple and his out-of-bound plays. He does a terrific job of getting opportunities, and we just saw one a few moments ago with a great pass from Justin Mackey.
Ill-advised shot there from Blake, but he gets his own rebound, makes up for his mistake, and the Yellow Jackets keep fighting for it. I'm sorry, the Wildcats keep fighting for it. They get two missed shots, 2 rebounds, Captain, and Bryson Stokes will go to the line as he was fouled underneath. Let's take a look at that again. There's the play captain. They just forgot about the inbounder.
That's normally how it works. There's such a concerted effort to guard the ball and follow the ball. And what a great job of stepping in. And Justin Mackey with his recognition on getting that ball to the passer.
My goodness, Bryson Stokes just banked it. You know, I guess the
Did
bank
he call
is
glass?
open. They put it on the scoreboard, so it counts. Oh, what a good look. What a fantastic pass from Gross, but he missed the layup. Got to help your teammate out there, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I would have been one angry soul if I would have gotten into the teeth and made a pass and my teammate didn't finish.
Let's see if we can.
You got to finish it for me.
Let's see if we can look at that again real quick, Captain. It's a great look underneath, and you want your guy to finish it. And that's what you expect if you're a point guard, or if your teammate can get you the ball in that position, you got to finish it.
Let's pay attention to these fouls down the stretch. Irmo is now in 1-1.
Here it is.
Lexington, 2 more fouls there in 1-1.
Oh, trying to make the dunk.
Well, and in fairness to him, I think he had to go up in that strong manner. He had to go up with an attempt to dunk the basketball with other guys contesting. So I don't fault the effort. Just got to do a better job of finishing the play.
Yeah, that was Howard. He missed it. Gross makes 1 of 2, 7-point lead. I have to fault it, Captain. You know, when I got the ball in that position, I never went up for a dunk, not once. I always laid it off the glass.
Well, I can understand why you would fault such a move. I now understand why you would fault such a move, Eric.
You know, I can get off the floor for a 5'7" man, but never knew what it felt like to dunk a basketball. Turnover from Irmo. Nigel Gates, you know,
he needs to play more aggressively going down the stretch. He has far too many skills. His basketball IQ is really, really good, and he needs to utilize that for this team to have any chance to overcome this deficit against a really, really good Irmo basketball team. By the way, the #1 basketball team, the #1 4A team in the state of South Carolina.
Yeah, and he was fortunate there, Captain, he nearly threw it away, but they retained possession. Blake misses the long 2 from the corner, and there's a foul on Maverick Bishop, trying to come over the back, just trying to make something happen for his team, right? Just trying to get in there, get a rebound. Unfortunate on the foul.
Coaches never have an issue or have a problem with players when they make an aggressive play on the basketball, even if that aggressive play turns into a foul, because the one thing that you want to always see from your players is effort. And when you're making an aggressive play, that tells me as the coach that I'm giving the necessary effort that's required to give our team a chance to win.
1-on-1 here, Captain, as the Irmo gets into the bonus. They missed the front end. Boy, that's giving away points right there. Gates brings it to the front court. Nice move to the bucket on the crossover, but he gets nothing. Irmo coming the other way. Browning, he likes that pull-up jumper.
He likes it.
And Gross with the foul. You don't like that shot, do you?
I don't like the shot because of right now you're in the 4th quarter, 5 minutes to go. As a point guard, you have to understand time and possession, and that wasn't a real good shot, not a smart shot on his behalf as a point guard. Certainly he's young. As a point guard, you got to recognize that.
Unfortunate there. Gross stepped on the baseline. They gave it out on the baseline to Lexington, but Bishop didn't realize you can't move unless it's off the score, right, Captain? So he walked on the baseline. You don't see that a lot, but it does happen. Irmo turns it over as Spence with the pick. And Mike Morris brings it up. Nigel Gates nearly loses it, gets it back, hits it to Spence in the corner, 4-3, and it's good, Captain. We have a 4-point ball game here with under 5 to go.
Lexington just continues to find a way to hang around, and because of this rivalry, I expect this game to go down to the wire.
We saw a good one in the girls earlier today, Captain. The Irmo hit a 3-pointer with no time on the clock to win 49-48. Maybe we're about to see a replay of that. Missed shot from the Yellow Jackets, and then they foul the rebounder.
Coach Whipple wasn't happy with that shot by Justin Mackey. And
rushing it.
Yeah, rushing it. And as I spoke about before, Coach Whipple has not been happy with Justin Mackey and the way he's not taking over the role of leader. As a guy that's certainly made up the right way, he's built the right way, he has it in his genes, he has it in his bloodline, and there are expectations that are going to come along with the kid that signs to play at the University of South Carolina. And as a caveat, he also is the son of the great B.J. Mackey. There are a lot of expectations, and Coach Whipple wants to see it. But another great pass by Justin Mackey. He hasn't been very good offensively in terms of putting the basketball through the hoop, but the one thing that he's been very, very impressive with is his ability to pass the ball and see his teammates in terms of his vision. I've been very, very impressed with his quarterback.
I couldn't agree more with you, Captain. And there's more to the game than scoring, and you can impact this game in various different ways. And Justin Mackey looks like he has it. Here's the steal, Captain. Oh, I'm sorry. This is on the Lexington side. This is the three from Spence that cut this lead to 4. Irmo missed the front end of the pair of 2. Missed the back end. There was the pass from Justin Mackey. Good look, and it was a good foul now because Irmo couldn't knock down the free throws.
Still a 4-point game, Iraq, with 4 minutes to go, and Lexington has the ball. Let's see what Bailey Harris draws up out of this with this underneath out-of-bounds play.
Irmo's really struggled against the Lexington defense here in the second half. There's a good look from Gates to Spence. He is fouled.
Now you understand why I want the ball in the hands of Nigel Gates. And
facilitator.
Right. Yes, I want him to play aggressively, but the reason I want him to play aggressively is because he's shown the ability to make the right play, either scoring the basketball or finding his teammate. I talked about it at the top. He has a tremendous feel when it comes to playing the game of basketball, and we've seen this guy be the facilitator. We've seen him be the scorer. We've seen him do everything. I just want to see the ball in his hands a little bit more because I trust his decisions.
Yeah, it was a good look. He went to the hoop, one-arm pass to Spence. And Spence knocks down the first free throw, Captain, after being fouled. 3-point game here. He can cut it to 2. And he does.
One possession game. What else did you expect from a rivalry that's so rich in history, a rivalry that's so rich in tradition? We're getting just what we expected, and the fans are certainly getting their money.
Absolutely. What else would you expect from the high school game of the week here on ABR Live? 2-point game. Irmo looking to extend this lead to 4. There's the drive, and it is a blocking foul on Spence. I didn't see who had the ball there. Was that Xavier Hill?
That was Xavier Hill that tipped the shot. Yes, kind of got bailed out on that. There was a shift in the defense, and a close call that could have gone either way, and kind of got bailed out because I don't think it was the shot that you needed right now with the 2-point game. You got to value possessions. We talked about it at the top of the board. Right now it's all about every single possession, offensively and defensively. That means great decisions when it comes to the type of shot that you're looking for.
You don't mind aggressive, Captain, but reckless puts your team in a predicament, and he got bailed out there a little bit. Missed the first front end of the pair. He makes the back end. We got a 3-point game here. 44-41, 3:49 remains in this one.
Irmo is in his 1-3-1 trap again. Got to get it to the baseline. Got to get it to the middle, Iraq. If you don't, and looks like he bobbled the ball just now and got bailed out, almost turned it over. And what a careless turnover that would have been. Yeah. You don't want any type of turnovers, but an unforced turnovers is the absolute worst.
Yeah, that 1-3-1 has disrupted them a little bit, and Bishop made the right pass, but it was a little off target, forcing Spence to make a duff play. Got his hand on it enough to slow it down, Captain, but the ball was going out of bounds. He grabbed it and smartly called a timeout instead of trying to throw the ball away.
And it goes back to Lexington in terms of how they need to attack that 1-3-1. You have to attack it with the 2-guard front, allow those 2 guards to stay even with each other, and then get 2 guys on the baseline, get 1 guy in the middle. You get the ball in the middle, now that guy's your playmaker. He turns, he faces the basket, and now you have a 3-on-2. Ask him to make a play, either 15-foot jump shot, 1-2 dribble, drop it off to the wing guy, but you have to line guys up the right way. And because Lexington does not have that point guard when it comes to inexperience, we're now seeing how difficult it is for those guys to attack that 1-3-1.
Well, it's been very difficult. They've had a lot of turnovers against that press, but they get it in from the baseline. Bishop hands it off to Davis. 3-point game here, 3.5 to go. Nearly a steal from Browning. Browning's played very well. I've been very impressed with this young man, Captain. He's a bright ball player.
He's active. He's active on both sides of the floor, defensively and offensively. And there's some scouts here in the arena tonight. And I venture to say that after tonight is over with, he'll have some folks asking about him.
6'1" senior, point guard. Number 25 is who we're talking about.
Got to get to the middle. There you go. Nigel Gates flashes to the middle.
Nice pass. Nice look from Davis to Spence. Captain, we have a 1-point ball game with just over 3 to go.
One thing that zone is susceptible to is the opening of the middle. And Lexington took his time, and they did a terrific job of getting an open look against a really good zone defense.
And Justin Mackey with a nice pass, but
probably not the pass that you want right now.
Right.
Had a one-handed pass with his weak hand. As good of a job as he's done passing the ball all night long, that probably was not the pass that you wanted at this juncture of the game, because regardless of how good it looks, if your teammate does not catch that basketball, then I'll tell you, you haven't done a good job of delivering that basketball. Turnover goes to Justin Mackey.
Yeah, and I'm not sure I saw it exactly, but I think that Gross was up under the basket, so he might not have had anywhere to go once he caught the ball, Captain. He might have had to get rid of it and get it back out. But either way, Lexington's ball with a chance to take a lead, and I don't remember the last time the Wildcats had a lead at this one. Now Ely with the foul on the block, he tried to strip Gates, who had his back to the Buscus. Let's go back and take a look and see the pass to Spence underneath. Here it is. Davis step through, rocket chest pass to Spence, who lays it in and cuts this to 1. And Gates at the line now with a chance to put his Wildcats, the home team, up by 1, and he misses the front end of the 1-on-1.
Pressure cooks turkey.
Yeah, and it misses free throws. And Justin Mackey with a quick shot there. I think he's trying to make too much happen here, Captain. Make it happen, Captain. He misses.
Yes, if it goes in, yeah, that's the shot that you're looking for. That's what you expect from a big-time player stepping up in a big game. But unfortunately, he missed it. And because he hasn't necessarily played all that well offensively, minus passing the basketball, yes, it's magnified. And there are going to be some, like yourself, that questions whether or not that was a good shot.
Well, it was early in the shot. It was early in the possession, Captain. It was 2 passes and a quick shot. And yeah, if you're a sharpshooter, if you're Jay Reddick, I let you shoot that every day and twice on Sunday, but I'm not sure I like that shot. Gates with the miss. Bishop had the rebound and then loses it. I think we're going to get a jump ball here. That's a possession arrow in favor of the visiting Yellow Jackets. Captain, you're up 1. There's 1:40 to go. There's no shot clock. There's no hurry to get a shot up now.
Not really any hurry to get a shot up, but at the same time, great timeout by Coach Whipple. You don't want to stop playing, and for your really good players, a good shot for a good player is not going to be a good shot for everybody. You don't want to stop playing the game. You want to still get good shots. I remember in my playing days playing for Coach Fogler, 2 minutes to go. You know, there was a rule. You know, unless you have a wide open shot or layup, you don't shoot the basketball. And for Justin Mackey, he was wide open, but because, again, he hasn't had much success scoring the basketball tonight, that shot is going to be magnified, especially if he misses.
Well, we had a shot there of the huddle. All eyes on Coach Whipple. And probably trying to settle his guys down a little bit, don't you think?
Again, did we expect anything different from these two teams, these two great coaches, the #1 basketball team in the state of South Carolina, 4A Irmo, 2 coaches that have had so much success, 2 programs that have had so much success, 2 programs that have produced so many Division I high-level basketball players. And this is what we expect. This is why we see the interest. This is why the excitement that's associated with this game is ever so present.
Oh, and the games that these epic battles these two programs have had over the years. Captain, you can hear the crowd in the background, raucous crowd here.
Looks like Irmo's going to stall it, Eric. Looks like they're going to stall it. They got 5 guys on the perimeter, 1 guy posted. They're going to move the basketball. Looks like they're not going to score unless they get something at the basket.
Called a timeout. It was interesting that they went to the man-to-man. Coach Whipple, why does he call a timeout there? Does he not like what he sees, or was he trying to see something to set up a play later?
He didn't like what he saw a few moments ago. And matter of fact, you saw, I think that was Mackey with the basketball. He got a little bit uncomfortable and became somewhat restless and was getting ready to drive the basketball. Coach Whipple saw that, and because he's such a great coach, he recognized that and called timeout. Now he's going to try to draw up something different in hopes of maybe running out a lot of this clock, or maybe getting an easy opportunity at the basket, or certainly getting to the charity stripe to shoot a free throw.
Well, if he calls games like he did back in my days in the 80s at Irmo, they won't shoot again. Not a single pass on that. Ball bounces around. That was Browning who went up. Spence with the rebound, and he gets fouled. You don't want to do that. Javante Gross is going to get called for grabbing him.
I don't know what I like to call, Eric. I don't know what I like to call. They've been so consistent, the officials, all night long. And
I don't mind it.
You're taking away the advantage from the defense. He was surrounded by 3 Irmo guys just now. I don't think he was fouled, but the official made the call. I don't know whether I necessarily like that call, but officials sometimes do get caught up in the emotion and the excitement of the game.
I don't know that I mind the call. He had his both arms around the ball. If you don't allow him to do that, and he misses the free throw, we're going to get a replay of that, and then we'll see that I was right and Captain's
That's 2
wrong.
free throws that Lexington has missed that were front ends of 1-on-1-and-1s. You're talking about a potential 4 points.
Yes. A lot of free throws missed by both these teams in the second half. Browning with the ball. Irmo slowing it down. 45 seconds right now.
Both teams are in 1-and-1. Irmo is actually in a double shot bonus. So let's look to see whether there's a foul committed or not. You can't let them run the clock all the way down to 0. You have to do something, foul or go for the steal. You can't sit back on your heels and allow them to run these last 20 seconds off the clock, Eric. No way. Let's see what happens. They haven't fouled yet. I'm a little bit surprised that they haven't done anything. You can't allow them to run the clock as much as they've done it.
And he actually went to the bucket. I'm surprised.
Yeah, not a good job of clock management down the stretch. They got the ball back with about 40 seconds. They allowed Irmo to run at least 20 seconds off the clock, and then you fouled him with 16 minutes. If you're going to make that foul.
16 seconds.
16 seconds,
yes.
Excuse me. If you're going to make that foul, you got to do it much sooner so that now you're able to get the ball and get another possession.
Here's the replay, Justin. Yeah, it's clearly a block. But I don't know that I like him going to the bucket there, Captain, quite honestly. It seemed like it was pretty clear. He wanted them to dribble around and force Lexington to foul.
Well, I mean, don't you expect this from a guy of Justin Mackey's caliber? He's a big-time player. This is a big moment of the game. Even though he hasn't been particularly good offensively, he still sees this as a moment that he wants to seize.
I don't blame him. And now he goes up the line and does something nobody's been able to do in quite some time, Captain, hit the front end of a pair.
The best players on the floor want the basketball in these moments. So I'm not surprised he attempted to get to the basket, and I'm certainly not surprised that he found a way to step up to the charity stripe and make his first free throw.
Well,
this is what folks come to see from a big-time player like Justin Mackey.
Well, give me a towel, put me at the end of the bench. That's what I want at this time of the game. I'll wave that towel.
You don't want any parts of it, huh?
Go, Kerry. I got your back.
One possession game, E-Rock, 46-43. What does Lexington do against this 1-3-1? It looks like they're going to attack it with the
You don't need a
2-1-2. You don't. I think you do need a 3.
You do?
I think you do. Simply because they haven't made free throws, and Lexington does a good job of shooting it.
Lexington hasn't made free throws either, though.
Which is why you
Irmo
go for the 3, yeah.
And it's short. There's the rebound, Captain, the foul.
I don't mind the shot. He got a good look. They've shot the 3 ball all night. I don't mind the shot at all. I think it was the best available shot for Lexington.
And that's going to do it, folks. It's 1.4 seconds left. Unless something crazy happens here. Jarvis Howard going to the line. Lexington fans already filing out. The Irmo fans very excited here. What a game, Captain.
What a game, just what we expected. And so happy to again be a part of this terrific team with Augusta basketball. And for our first game, and Tuesday we'll be back with you guys as we travel to the upstate to call the Hillcrest and Dorman basketball game. So that's going to be fun. And what a great game. This is why this game was the game of the week. I expect next week's game to generate the same type of interest, generate the same type of excitement, and I look forward to it.
Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at AugBBall. You see it there at the bottom of your screen. Also, if you want to follow Kerry Rich, which I encourage as well, the Captain 560. You have a lot of fun because he can't always be on the air, can't always be broadcasting to you guys, but we can always be in contact with you via Twitter. And I'm Eric G560. We really appreciate you guys hanging out with us. There's 1.4 seconds remaining in this one. It's a 4-point game. Howard knocks down the front end of that pair. He'll go back to the line here, and there just won't be enough time to make 2 buckets. Lexington needs 2 baskets to win this game, Captain. 47-43 here. And these new look arenas, I really appreciate the way that the arenas now in high school basketball are built for the spectator. Everybody's on top of it and into the game. Misses it. There's the rebound from Spence. He'll launch it from the full court. No good, and that's how it'll end here on the campus of Lexington High School. 47-43. Your thoughts, Captain?
Just what we expected again. Very well fought contest, hard fought contest, and Irmo showed why they are the #1 team in the state of South Carolina when it comes to 4A. They came into a hostile environment. They came into a tough crowd and found a way to hold on by yet closing out a very tough basketball game. And give credit to Lexington. With the way the game started, you thought this was probably going to be a blowout, but Lexington kept chipping away. They stayed close, and they put themselves in position to win the basketball game. And there at the end, they missed 2 front ends of 1-and-1s, which could have been a potential 4 points that could have given them the lead. And once that happens, obviously the pressure shifts just a little bit towards Irmo. That did not happen. They didn't take advantage at the free throw line. And because of that, Irmo did a terrific job of closing out the game and converting those free throws on the other end.
Very impressed with Coach Harris, how he kept his team focused on the task at hand. Captain, there's no 15-point shots. There's no 12-point shots. You have to play possession by possession. And then at the end, Irmo, they had to deal with some adversity there when the ball wasn't going through the hoops for them.
Absolutely, and you hit it right on the head. There is no such thing as a 12-point shot or a 16-point shot. You got to chip away at it. You got to get it one possession at a time, and that's exactly what Irmo did. And Irmo could have easily folded, but they didn't allow the pressure to get to them. They found a way to keep those guys at bay, and unlike Lexington, they made free throws at the end as opposed to what Lexington did on the other end by not making free throws.
Now, if the average viewer is looking at this for the first time and they're seeing Justin Mackey play for the first time, they might have seen the missed shots and have some concerns, but you don't seem to have those same concerns.
I don't, because he wasn't recruited to score baskets at the University of South Carolina. He was recruited because, first of all, his competitive nature. Coach Frank Martin followed this kid all summer long, and he really liked how much he improved. He loves his competitive nature. He loves his competitive fight. He loves his basketball IQ. He loves his range at 6'4", 6'5", on the perimeter, being able to disrupt what other teams are doing. That's what he'll be able to offer to the University of South Carolina. A lot of effort, some athleticism, some basketball smarts, basketball IQ, and a defensive presence. And that's why you should be excited about Justin Mackey. Yes, whatever he does offensively will be an added bonus, but he wasn't recruited to score a bunch of baskets at the University of South Carolina.
And on the flip side, you got to see Nigel Gates and what he brings to Lexington. What are your thoughts on the young man?
Well, I would like to see Nigel Gates play a lot more aggressively. I think he showed tonight that he has the tools He's very high IQ when it comes to understanding the game. He has a terrific feel for how to play the game. I just need to see him a lot more aggressive, and I think the more aggressive he becomes, the better off the Lexington basketball team will be down the stretch, because certainly he has all of the tools, and I really, really enjoy the way he plays the game.
Now, not all of these kids are going to get looked from big-time schools, but there are other schools out here. You mentioned Presbyterian, Wofford on site. Who do you think that they've come to look at? Who do you think that they've been impressed with? I really liked the play of Browning.
Browning for sure. Talking to Irmo's coaching staff at the beginning, the one thing they talked about, of course, we talked about Justin Mackey. We talked about those guys, but they wanted to make sure I knew about Browning. They thought this is a kid that deserved and warranted an opportunity to get some looks from Division I schools. And after watching him tonight, I must say that I admit and I agree that he is a kid that warrants the type of attention from Division I schools.
All right. Hey, we're saying hello to Ron Morris.
The legendary Ron Morris.
In the house. Let's see if we can, before we get out of here, I was going to see if we could grab one of the, I'd like to be on the air on this with two legendary former USC point guards. Captain, I've got you already, two-time captain back in the day. And
but the other point guard that you're talking about, I don't think I should be mentioned in the same breath. Well, B.J. Mack is one of the absolute best to ever come through.
It's not fair to call him he's not fair to call him a point guard. He's the all-time leading scorer.
Yes, you're right.
He never passed the ball that he didn't clap right after asking for it back.
Well, it's funny that the running joke when it comes to he and JoJo English, the reason they are such great scorers is because they couldn't pass the ball. They didn't have the ability to pass the ball, so they were forced to just shoot it. But, of course, because he played with a terrific point guard in Melvin Watson, a guy that I mentored, he didn't have to pass it a whole lot because Melvin Watson was going to make sure he did everything possible to make sure Larry and BJ got easy opportunities at the basket.
And he had a gift to get to the line, right? And that's something that this current team wants, doesn't it?
Real crafty, a whole lot of savvy. Very cerebral, high basketball IQ, and on top of that, he was one hell of a competitor. He competed his behind off. I was on Twitter, and one of our former trainer, Jeff Parsons, was on Twitter, and the one thing that he said was, this is going to be the first night that he see B.J. Mackey and Kerry Rich in the gym together. He said he would have paid a whole lot of money for that back in the day, and I said the only thing that would have been missing when it comes to Kerry Rich and B.J. Mackey being in the same gym 20 years ago was a steel cage, because neither one of us were going to give an inch. We were both going to compete our behinds off, and that would have made for some really good, hard-fought, competitive basketball.
Oh, no doubt about it.
Put it up to your real close, and man that needs no introduction, B.J. Mackey, hanging out with us. B.J., give us your thoughts on the first of all on the game.
It was an ugly game, but I'll take an ugly win versus a pretty loss any day. Two teams fought hard. Two teams didn't shoot the ball particularly well. Lexington shot it a little bit better. And, they play hard. They play hard, and Coach Whipple got his 600 win tonight, but he earned that one.
That was 600.
600.
The one thing we talked about, B.J., watching Justin all night long, and even you and I spoke at the half, he seemed to be pressing a little bit. Had you in the stands, of course, Coach Brad Underwood, the associate head coach at the University of South Carolina. Both of you guys are in the stands, and this is a rivalry. Yeah. A lot of people here, a lot of interest, and he appeared to really press tonight.
He did press a little bit. He pressed a little too hard. Sometimes you can be hard on yourself, and then when other things are not going right, but what I was trying to tell him is do the little things, sprint back on the floor, get in there for rebounds, dive on the floor for loose balls. So every night it's not going to be going in. Yeah, I mean, as a scorer, it's not going to go in, but you got to do the other intangibles. Get in the paint, take your time, pump fake, get some fouls, get your blood flowing a little bit. He was rushing.
The one thing that I really liked and I appreciated about his game tonight, I thought he showed tremendous skills in terms of his court vision and making plays for his teammates.
He did. Justin's a very unselfish ball player. Sometimes I think he's too unselfish.
Yeah, I knew that was someone else taught him to pass other than B.J. Mackey.
But at the same,
maybe you guys played 2-on-2 on the same team so much that he got used to passing the ball to you.
He's learning how to be a go-to guy, going in the paint, when not to go in the paint, and just take it all in. And he has to use this as a learning experience. And he said he could have did some things differently. Go back and look at tape and get ready for next week. It just keeps coming and coming.
Well, he looked heady to me. You got to like the tenacity. He wanted the ball in his hands at the end of the game, so he has some of the killer instincts that the Mackey name reminds people of here in Columbia.
Yeah, he does, and he's a competitor. He competes. He's a winner, and he'll only continue to get better. It's just getting experience. The guys on the team, they were on the team last year but didn't get a whole lot of minutes last year, and now they're trying to gel, and things are happening. Things are coming together.
Well, you know, we had a lot of scouts here from other schools around the state. You're here from Charleston Southern. Were you here scouting some guys, or were you here watching
I was
somebody
just
play?
in the area. I was taking them along. You know, it never hurt to keep your eyes out and see what's what out there.
There's a lot of good ball players in this game. This game goes back for years. We used to call it the damn rivalry back in the day. You've played in one or two of these games.
Yep. I'm undefeated against Coach Harris.
Well, BJ, we wish you all the best of luck. Thanks for joining us, and we wish Justin all the best of luck. If any your lineage is any indication, we know that he's going to be an exceptional quality player for Frank Martin. And
he's
those
doing
guys
all right,
next year.
man. And y'all guys have come a long way, man. Y'all come a long way.
They put us on TV.
Yeah, and we're actually forced to be serious now, so we don't have to cut up and have fun for 3 hours every day. We're actually forced to be serious.
I know, because people can actually see you.
Yeah.
And we
y'all
still
do
don't have any hair.
Man. Y'all do a good job. I catch y'all every now and then in Chucktown, and y'all do a good job. Y'all are very entertaining.
Oh, that's awesome.
Both on the radio and as people can see, y'all are entertaining in person as well.
We look forward to getting you back in there. We didn't get a chance to talk Florida
Y'all
State
don't hit
football.
me up, man.
Y'all
don't hit me. All y'all gotta do is hit me up. I ain't gotta come in the booth.
Yeah.
Y'all gotta do is hit me up. Y'all still owe me a
I'm
trip
actually
down.
policing Twitter to see when you're real loud about Florida State.
Hey.
So I'm always policing Twitter to see when you're real loud and candid about Florida State.
Tomorrow, it's on and popping. We're going to the Orange.
Yeah, I heard that they're only selling tickets for $4 for the ACC tournament. For the ACC.
We're preparing for the Orange Bowl, man.
Don't make me get.
We don't need nobody in
I'm
the
gonna get all
stands for that.
Portuguese. You're gonna make me start blessing things with like my mother did when I was a kid. The game they're playing Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech is behind Wofford in the computer rankings.
We can't help who we play. We can't help who's in the conference. We can only go by what we play. We playing in the Orange Bowl. And my Redskins are on the up and coming. We got a big Monday night. This is a big weekend for me.
Oh, yeah,
Gary Rich. This is a big weekend for me.
Well,
I'm on Twitter.
It was a big night here. Irmo wins 47-43. Captain, you and I head to the Upstate on Tuesday.
Yes, head to the Upstate to call the Hillcrest and Dorman basketball game.
That was
I heard
a good
that's
one.
Big,
that was a good one. Coach Redderball was in the stands to see Trey yesterday.
Okay.
The day before yesterday, and it was a good game to the very end.
If you can't make it, you can watch it right here on ABR Live because we'll be doing this all over again.
That's good. That's good stuff, man.
Yeah.
Every week.
Yeah, these guys. Yeah,
every week.
These guys
throughout the state of South Carolina, man, we're finding the best basketball games in the state of South Carolina every single week throughout basketball season, and we're on a mission, man. See, we played during the day when basketball was big in Columbia, South Carolina.
Y'all played.
Exactly.
I was one of those guys over on the other side that was cheering.
So we're on a mission to remind folks that there's some good basketball in the state
it's some
of South
great
Carolina.
basketball. There's some great basketball. We just don't have football here. We got some good basketball.
They're inviting you back. ABR Live here. But look at this production stuff. This is no joke, is it?
This is top of the line.
You kidding me?
You can't hide anything right here.
Yeah,
I know.
This is good stuff.
If I'd have known, I'd have lost another 10 pounds this week. All right, let's get out of here. We'll see you guys Tuesday from the Upstate, Hillcrest and Dorman. BJ Mackey, Captain Kerry Rich, Eric Amar signing off. And once again, Irmo moves to 2-0 with the 47-43 win over Lexington. They drop to 0-2. And I had those games, and both teams play Tuesday, I believe. Lexington is at Columbia High, and Irmo is back home against White Knoll. We'll see you Tuesday.